and it's so typical Erika, as my parents would say, but it's been a lot of fun. And then I am a huge fan of Miss Fuglefun, Tricia here. This is a dream come true for me. I've always wanted to host Doink webinars with this woman, and I put it on my dream board, and guess what? It worked. How you doing, Tricia? Do you need any help?
So I want to make sure I have eyes on everything. So I've got people to admit. I see the chat. I see the gallery of faces, and names. Thank you. And do you all see my screen share? Is that showing up?
Yes, I get some nods of yes, so that's good.
Good.
That's wonderful. I'm looking on Facebook to see if I can see it, and
I can tell it was working, so.
All right, well, let's let that go. If not, we're recording anyway. We will figure it out. Okay, I think we're ready to go now. So tell us in the chat box where you're from. Love to know where all these people are from.
We have Sylvia from Spain, I see. Margaret's from Pennsylvania. We've got Kathleen. Oh, wow, that went fast. That went right by. I see.
I see that from Wakelet. It's fun. You get good at it. It's like
folks from Illinois. I see Georgia, Texas, Florida, Ohio, Costa Rica.
Oh my gosh, Costa Rica. I can't get to
the well, Spain, awesome too. And Alabama, and so all these different places.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That is so exciting. What a wonderful way, or what a wonderful reason to bring people together for something fun like this, you know? And oh my gosh, Alabama, Huntsville, Jersey. My neighbor. I'm in Boston and she's in Chicago. So
oh, there's still some
Texas. I wonder what time it is in Spain. I should know this. 6 hours ahead. Ah, Sylvia, that's so great you're here. Thank you guys. And the people that are here in the Zoom, like I said, we're new to this, so we were trying this out and we forgot about the whole 100 cap at 100, but we didn't think that would happen so quickly. So we were, so now we have it live on Facebook. So I believe hopefully that chat is going as well. But this will be recorded and on YouTube. So no worries if you're having trouble connecting. Not that you can hear me, but so Tricia, why don't you tell them why we're here today?
Okay, so Erika and I are the Green Screen Sisters. And so we both just passionately love the green screen, and in particular, the Do a Green Screen app. And it has a new update. So there's some really cool things.
My neighbor, I'm in Boston and she's in Chicago. Sorry.
There's some things that were added to the app in some recent updates, and some new things coming out now. And we're super excited. We want to share a couple things, and we're thinking that there's more things that we'd like to share in the future. So we don't want to overwhelm you with too much. So what we're thinking is, if you have an iPad and you have the Do a Green Screen app, you can try to draw along with us. That would be super fun. We're also, if you know, this is recorded, so you can go back and check this out later, so you can just soak it in and enjoy it. We promise we won't take up too much of your time today, so we won't overwhelm you. But we do want to put in a word for you that we're going to be presenting at the at ISTE coming up next week.
Tricia Honeybun, sorry, can you make me a co-host and then put side-by-side speakers under view? I'm not, yeah, okay.
Do you want to talk about ISTE then?
Yeah, okay, so we're going to both be, sorry to interrupt, Sweetie. We're going to both be at ISTE together. We're doing a virtual session on Sunday. I keep forgetting what time, I think around noon. I should know this. And I'm actually flying to ISTE Saturday, hopefully. The flights, cross your fingers and toes. I get down there and I will be in my, thank you. I will be in my condo that I'm staying in, and hopefully they have good Wi-Fi. If not, I will find somewhere. I might even be from a coffee shop, and we will be, if anyone's going to ISTE, we will be on the virtual end of that. And then I have 3 more sessions live. And I'm also running the green screen playground with the famous and awesome Janet Carter and Christina Holweitz. So we are going to be there Tuesday as well in the playground from, I think, 3 to 5.
Awesome.
Yes. Sorry, Tricia. Thank you.
No. So if you have an iPad, I also would recommend something to draw with, but you could also use your finger, and the green screen app by Do Ink. If you don't have the green screen app by Do Ink, stick around because at the end we're going to raffle off a few of those download codes. Okay.
Oh my God, like someone from Sweden here. My father's born and raised outside of Stockholm. Ah, how exciting. Sandstrom. Sorry. It's got very excited.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So here's the first 2 things that we wanted to share. So today we're going to show you animating with the text tool and animating over video using the Do Ink green screen app. Erika, do you want to get us started?
I surely will try. So before I start, I just that scene that she just showed you with the negativity chop, my students and I wanted to do something to for part of our social emotional learning green screen fun, but also we were just talking about how negative energy is something we always want to get rid of. And one of my students and I were playing around with doing, as we always are, and we were just thinking, he's like, we could chop this. Or I asked him if he could chop it, and he said, "Oh, I have it even better, Miss Sandstrom." And he did this jump in the air, turned around, and went like this. And I was like, "What?" So I did some slow-mo photography of him. I don't recommend trying this unless you're pretty agile. Just jump and chop. And then we figured out how to do this with the text, because the text tool is underrated for doing. It's very magical. Now I'm going to attempt to show you this right now. This is actually a little harder than a couple other samples I have out there. So if you can master this one, the other ones will be a cakewalk. Okay. So here we go, Tricia. Let's see if this is working. We're having technical difficulties. How great are these wings, though? Our Do Ink wings that Miss Tricia made. She's a genius. You can tell I'm a fan.
By Do Ink. Yeah.
I'm a fan. You know that. Okay. So do you see an iPad?
It's coming up.
Coming up. Do you see the chat box over it, or is that no? That's just
no,
me.
we don't. I don't.
Okay.
I still don't see
Super.
it.
Okay. Do you see my iPad?
Not yet.
Okay. Let me try. We did practice this.
Starting. Double click to enter.
Nope, I got this. I got this. Our nightmares coming true. Nope, it's the cable. I'm fixing it right now, but
those are your wings.
we practiced this like 3 times. As long as you're not seeing anything embarrassing, because that would not be fun. My desktop and how crowded it is. I don't think anybody'd be shocked. All right, so let's try this again, Tricia. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, my iPad. Okay, my iPad went off.
No power or what?
He didn't come here to hear us talk about ourselves. Okay, we're gonna try this again.
So off, like it still has power though, right?
Yeah, it's just being wonky. Yeah, it was working 10 minutes ago.
Oh, I almost saw it.
You did.
For a moment. Yeah.
Do you possibly want to go first?
So funny.
I know. I think my cat chewed through the cable a little. Let's try this.
I could tell.
All right. You see it? You see it?
Yeah. Yay.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. So let's just intermission music. Pretend you didn't see that. Lives. I told you lives aren't easy. Okay. So this is my overcrowded thing. Okay. So here we go. This is the full video. And to this day, I wish I had used a better camera because he's a little blurry, but it is one of my most favorite things we've ever done. And then it kind of turned into this. I was thinking of all the negativity that we all put on ourselves. So this was for self-love, this whole thing. So what we did is I practiced this for the kids, and they're still making them, but to knock out all those things that we do to ourselves and even others: procrastination, shame, regret, letting it go. And then the girls come in. And then, so this is what we hope to have at the end, is a word that you can chop in half. Okay, so let's get going. Now, the text tool is really powerful. There's so many different ways you can there's probably an easier way to do this than I actually did this, but I'll show you what I did and see what you come up with on your own. So we always start with a new project with the plus sign in the upper right corner. So if you're a newbie, don't be too scared, because you just have to play. Click create new project. And we have our 3 beautiful rows, but in doing, there's endless rows, because all you have to do is save it and then restart it as your new background if you want to add new things. But today, one thing I like to do, since things automatically go transparent if the chroma key tool is on, is I like to put a green background. And there's a couple ways you can do this within the app, but an easy way to do this is just to go to the internet and find a green square. Now, I forgot to put that one on here because I switched iPads at the last minute. Here's another trick. Sometimes I just take something green and I stretch it out. But anyway, you can find a green background pretty easily. And then on the top row, we're going to go ahead and start with our text. So I'm going to click on the text tool. Now in the text tool, you can make transparent text that's just written there that can overlay or even be behind things wherever you want it. But I like to use the one with the colored background. So with the text, we're going to pick a color. Let's go with purple today. Oh, I'm sorry. Going to go with a purple background and white text. And going to type the word negativity. Now I put it on all caps because that's going to make it a lot easier for you to do this. Hopefully I spell it right, Tricia. You can let me know. Okay, I'm going to change that to white so we can see it. And I'm also going to change the font. It works better with a thicker font, but I like to use marker felt, but I've used them all for this. And the size doesn't matter because we can adjust that when we get there. And I'm going to put it on center. Center's at the top there. And then click done. So now you have your word here. Now with 2 fingers, you can move it around. I try to keep it, usually I don't touch it because I want it to be straight. Because the thing about doing that no other app has is you're able to move things anywhere. There's someone to admit to, oh, you got it. Okay. And what's so cool about that is, I animate a lot, and I can animate in any direction at any size and anywhere with doing. So definitely give that a try. So with the word negativity, I'm going to stretch it out a little bit because I want to give myself some time for him to jump in the air. So I'm going to stretch this out as well and just keep stretching this one. We'll trim it later. Okay, so here at the end of negativity, this is a little tricky. So what I do is I take this word, and you make sure it has the yellow around it. And this is very sensitive. So you have to make sure you're always on the right row, but don't worry, there's a back button. The undo button is one of my best friends. So I'm going to click on that. And at the very bottom, I hope you can see this, I'm going to click copy, and then I'm going to paste the word negativity again. And I'm actually going to shorten this because I don't need as much for this one. And then I'm going to actually copy it and paste it right below it. Now, we're going to be splitting this word in half so we can have 2 pieces fly away. So the beginning of the movie is the regular word. And then when you get to here, you make sure it locks too. You can feel it lock, will be the split. Now, to make it easier for you, I changed the color from purple to another one, but then I change it back to purple at the end. Hopefully that makes sense. So what you do is you click on here and you see the yellow. You click on the text tool, and I'm going to change this to a blue just so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so what you do is right now it's seeing the purple one, and when it gets here, the top one going to click on it again, and you're going to change it to just the first part of the word and make it go all the way to the right. Right, I forgot what that's called, Tricia. Right justification. No.
Yeah, right.
I'm out of school now. I can't. Yesterday was my last day.
Right.
So, oh, go ahead. No, as you see right here, this blue piece needs to be moved down here, but you have to shorten it. Now it's going to possibly do that to you, so you can only go so far, and you just do your best to. It jumps around on you a little bit to match it as much as you can over the purple. It doesn't have to be perfect, but okay. Now we're going to do the same thing for Tivity. Tivity. So I'm going to click on this, and then I actually usually highlight the word and just get rid of it that way. And this one we're going to do left justification. I'm actually going to change the color again, just so it's easier to match up over the purple. Now this one, as you can see, is underneath the other one. So it gets a little tricky. So, and also because you have to be at the front here. So I'm going to move it. And you can see right here, if we move it a little bit, where it is. Now it's not going to match up perfectly, but the thing that's so cool is it's getting chopped in the air and no one notices. I hope they don't. Okay, so because you want to see the letters. Sometimes it works better. Just depends. I can move this one down a little bit. You can play around with it, but I'm going to try not to be too picky. Like I said, it takes a little bit of practice. All right, so this is the really fun part. So now we have two words. This purple one, if it confuses you at all, you can always move it back a little bit just until you're done animating and then put it back. So with the animation, you'll see the yellow animation path tool. It's so magical. What's so great, you can animate anything now, like people, everything. So focus, Erika. You're going to drag it down and then do this and throw it off the screen. Then we're going to do the same thing, or actually before I do that, but we needed to flip. Now, what's so weird, and I wonder if the three beautiful owners of Doing are all here, because I want to talk to Mr. Codeman, is when you twist it, you're going to actually twist the word. You would think that it would twist in because you're chopping it. You actually twist it the opposite. So the rule is for this activity is the left side is literally going to swirl left, even though it doesn't seem like that's the way you should do it. It's really fun. Use two fingers and then try to match it back up. Now the second one, same thing. I'm going to go down. Don't worry about the other one. And over and out. And what's so cool here is if you click on this and you move to the end, you can slide this all the way off the screen, but you have to be at the end of the row where it locks. So I'm going to come back here, and now we have one more thing to do, and that is, and this one's going to twist to the right. So the right side twists right. And like I said, this is the harder one. The other one where I'm knocking words out of the sky, or I have one where I'm hitting one with a golf ball, hit the word drama. I just bring it down, match it with the golf club, and then shoot it out. And the shorter your clips are, the faster they'll go. So if you notice here, these second blue ones are shorter, so they're going to go much faster. So I'm going to bring this back right here, and I'm going to go back and change. It's not perfect, but what is? Move it down. I might have messed that up, but that's okay. So now I'm going to change them back to purple. Trying to remember which purple I used. Not that one. Anyway, you change it back to the same color, hopefully. Nope, I was right the first time. And see, we're learning a lot about doing live because I'm used to making videos, so we always look like we're perfectly live, but we really wanted to try it. We wanted you to be in the trenches with us so you can actually try it. So you let us know how you feel about that. So it's not perfect, but let's see what happens. So here we go, negativity. And then it should come. Maybe I made the beginning too long. And chop. There we go. Look at that. And it's off the screen. Applause. Okay. If you want it to go faster, you just shorten your two little negativity videos like this. So let's start it down here. Oops. Let's do that. And what you can do too with the background is then click on this where it locks and click trim. Trim and split are really powerful, but trim will knock off the end for you. Okay, so let's check that out again. Negativity, and you'll see that it goes a little faster. There we go. Okay. Now, you will want to export this as a video or a GIF, either way. Tricia's going to talk more about that later, but I'm just going to export this video. And I'm going to save it to my camera roll. Hopefully, yay. And then you're going to go back in, and I can even share this clip in the chat box for people or somewhere. Going to bring in our new video, and you're going to notice that it's not green. That's because the chroma key is automatic on the first top two rows. So if you go into chroma key, you can turn it off if you want to keep the green background, or you can add your own background. I make it on green just so I have possibilities later. And then, so Tricia, if you want to talk for a second, I have to airdrop something to this iPad.
Okay.
Because I switched iPads.
In a classroom setting, when you're doing a project like this, you would need to think about how many seconds it is before the chop happens. And then when you film your student, you could plan it out, count down for them. They make the chop motion, and then you could pop it in and have it perfectly lined up. For her, I think she was playing with the lengths of the video, and she's just thinking I can adjust it to whatever clip she's going to try to airdrop to her iPad right now. And the reason why she's doing that is because the other iPad that she was going to use decided not to work at the last moment, which is kind of typical. Plus, we couldn't get her into this whole meeting, so she the whole thing was kind of crazy.
Well,
But
it's funny because you learn, and yeah, what happened was I couldn't get into the meeting until about 4:01. That's why we started a minute late, because but we're learning. So, all right, Tricia, tell you what, I might come back and do this part after. Is that okay? If you just go, I'm going to let you go, and I'll get, because I don't want them to wait. And then we will finish off this part for them with a big wow.
okay.
All right, I will stop sharing. We have to stop thinking out loud.
No, I don't know. Is it so bad to think out loud? And then you get to find out, what we have to process, about the process. Processes are important. So I don't know if you guys remember what I was going to share. So maybe instead of sharing my iPad right away, I should go back to the presentation, which has my example. So let me just go to that again. I'm going to share animating over video. So in this little clip, you can see I've got a video making a heart shape, and then a heart shows up that's animated. So it's actually very, very simple. This is a project that I did with kindergartners, and I before the Do Ink app had this animation tool built in. So I used to do this using the other Do Ink app. Do you guys even know that Do Ink has another app called the Drawing and Animation app, which I love. And but this app has a lot of the drawing tools and the green screen tools, so it's extra powerful, lots more options. Okay, so what just happened? I was supposed to share my iPad, not my screen again. I was, they're talking instead of thinking. That's what I do.
We're learning.
Oops. Okay, so here we go. I am going to, let's see, start a new project in the green screen app. I'm gonna bring in a color to my background. So I had a folder that had a color that I just took a screenshot of, and I'm bringing it into my background layer. You can see it there. And then I'm going to bring in a video to my middle layer. So that's this one. Now, let me just go back to that really quick and show you that it was a green screen video. If I turn off the chroma key, you can see that I had the green, but it automatically takes the green away. What I need to do is I need to capture just the part that I want to use. So I think it starts right about here. So I'm going to click on that clip and I'm going to choose split. And now I'm going to scroll to the end, right about here. And I'm going to use the trim and get rid of all the rest. So this is the clip I want to use. So this part right here, I'm going to just delete it. So I'm going to click delete. And now I've isolated the piece I want, but I need to push it over to the beginning. So I'm going to just kind of put my finger in the middle of it and drag it all the way. Oh, look at this. The bottom one wasn't lined up either. So I want the zeros at the very beginning. Did you guys know that I'm an elementary teacher? So I'm working with kindergarten through 5th grade. And so I'm sorry if I talk like I'm talking to little people, but
Stop it.
I don't know.
I'm the middle school, high school teacher for green screen, and she's the elementary. It's perfect.
All right, so here is the piece that I want to isolate. I'm going to begin my drawing on my top layer. So I'm going to start a heart at about right there, but I don't have to worry about where to place it before I draw it. So all I'm going to do is click on the top layer plus and choose the drawing and animation tools that says create a new animation. And so now I'm on an animation screen. I'm going to take out my Apple Pencil, but you could use your finger for this as well. I'm going to switch my brush size to something smaller, like a 5. I'm going to work with red. So I'm switching my color. Tap on the color and make them.
This is so cute.
Go away.
I can't wait.
I'm going to make a heart that grows and shrinks, sort of like it's beating. So I'm going to do that in frames, like a flip book animation, starting with my tiny little heart right there. And that's frame 1. I'm going to click plus down at the bottom, and you can see a ghost frame. So you can see where my original frame was. So the next thing I have to do is just draw a little bit bigger. And I'm going to fill that in. I could have used the pour bucket, but it's so little, I'm not having a problem just drawing it in. So I'm going to grow one more time, click plus, and I'm going to get, okay, just a little bit bigger, and I'm going to fill that in. And
your heart is growing.
It's growing, but here's the back part. I'm going to shrink my heart, so I'm going to click plus. You can see where it used to be. I'm going to draw it. Now I could have copied and pasted, but this is a very simple project, and when I'm working with little people, copy and paste is a whole nother skill. So drawing something as simple as this, we would just draw. And I'm going to do another one. So I click plus. I'm going to go even smaller. And let's see, I've done 5 frames. I want 6. And so I'm going to do one more, and this one's going to be very little. Very tiny, almost like a dot, I guess. Now, if I hit play, this is going to go way too fast. I'm going to hit play. It's going very fast. So what I usually do, I go back to the gear at the top, and I think about my frames per second. I only need 1 second of animation in my little clip. So I have 6 frames, so I'm going to make it animate at the rate of 6 frames per second. So I just think that'll be easier to see. Let me just preview it. It's simple. Okay, 6 frames per second. Not a lot of drawing. I'm going to click done, and it's going to pop it into my project. Now I'm putting down my Apple Pencil and I'm going to take out my fingers and I'm going to pinch and place it somewhere I'm guessing right now. And find a good spot for it. But as I do this, I realize it went for 2 seconds. I think it even said, do you want this to go for 2 seconds? And I should have said no, but it doesn't matter. I could just take the end of it and drag it until I want it to stop, which will be probably about there. So where did I want it to start? Like there. Let's see how that looks. Okay, a little high. Does it matter? I don't know. I'm gonna get ready to play it, but first I think the blue background being too long is in my way. So I'm going to go to that blue background and I'm going to trim it. It's not in my way. It's just going to be distracting because I'll disappear and then blue will show up. And so I didn't want that to happen. Now I'm just going to hit play. See what that's like. Pretty simple. Okay. Now I've got a couple choices for exporting. I can make this a movie and save that on my camera roll. But I can also choose to make this, and this is what is so cool. I'm like really, really excited to share this with you. If I go to the gear and look at media type, I can choose GIF. And if I do that, now I get the option to export this as a GIF. And the reason why I love the idea of exporting it as a GIF is because that little animation now can play on, it can play on your website, it can play on your Google Doc, it could play where else, Erica?
I don't know. Where else can it play? Oh my God. Are you talking about the GIF?
A GIF. Sorry, when you have a GIF.
Yeah, it can play everywhere. I've used them everywhere from, like you said, Canva and Keynote and Google Drive, PowerPoint. I think they play everywhere, even in any kind of Google Doc. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's a game changer.
Yeah, you can put it on.
Oh yeah, it's an absolute game changer. I mean, nobody else does that. I mean, a lot of people use remove background, but the video one isn't great. Plus that's not safe for your kids. There's a server that it goes through. So I never use remove background anymore because there's so many ways you can do that. But DoWink has this animated GIFs that you can, this is huge. And video, it's huge. You'll see. We'll get into it a lot more, but we just wanted to, that's why we're doing this today. It's one of the big reasons. So, Tricia, that is just horrible. What? Sorry.
Sorry. Did you want to finish showing us how to put your video on your negativity?
Yeah, I am. And I actually, for the chat box, I'm going to pay. What I did, what I was waiting is I pasted. That is the video in the chat box for the people here on Zoom. And I can get it to the other people too of Fitzy. His name is his last name is Fitzgerald and he goes by Fitzy, his little chop. All right, let's try this again. I don't know if you have it on 2 speakers for when you were presenting. I think you had it on speaker. Okay, here we go. Thinking out loud again. Someone in the chat box that they think out loud. Now, Tricia, there's some great questions coming in. We can answer afterwards. I told people we would answer them when we could, because they're really good questions. Okay, please tell me you see an iPad. Not yet. Okay. Here we go. Yes. You see it?
Yes.
Oh, so happy. Okay, so this is Fitz. He's so cute. He's actually a sophomore in high school now. But this was him in 8th grade. And forgetting which device I'm on. So this is what we had him do in slow-mo. So we used the slow-mo photography right on my iPhone. And it was really fun because it was another part of the lesson is to teach them slow-mo photography. Okay. And that's the best green screen ever there, by the way. So what you do is we're going to go back to our awesome creation of the negativity. And on the top row, so right here we have our negativity. On the top row, going to bring him in. Now I left myself a lot of room because I learned that I'd had to chop off a lot of his video to make it match. So, okay, I just airdropped it to myself. Oh goodness. We just saw it. Oh. Okay. We need, here he is. Sorry about that. Yeah, this whole last minute iPad switch, I should have gotten a second iPad ready. Lesson learned, check. Okay, so here, this is where all the tools are so fun. One thing I really, truly love about doing, many things I love about doing, is that I always tell people, you don't have to film and make sure all the green's in your classroom. People film so far up, they're like, how do I get the kids' feet in? You don't have to, because of the tools that you have here. So we're going to use one of those tools, the crop tool. So that way you can be far away. I always say just crop out the real world. So we're going to crop out the real world. Now my floor is a little bit off for color. So with the chroma key tool, you can see that it's a little more of a green. I'm going to move with the sensitivity. You can even move which green you have around, but just for time, do that. So now I have him. Now, obviously I have to put him in the back row. He's a little bit see-through, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut him, since we already edited him, paste him down here for a second, and then cut, paste. And I do need to turn off the chroma key so I can see him. And then here, cut, paste, and then that whole trick of using a photo. We'll just use these girls for now. I find ways around things when I have to. There's a green one. There we go. It was in there. So we'll have the background. I'm gonna drag that out.
When you're
What's that?
saying cut and paste, do you mean are you touching the word cut or are you touching the word copy?
Oops, I'm doing the word copy and paste, not cut. But actually, no, I did cut. You can use either.
Really?
I didn't copy it. I actually cut it and moved it down.
Wow. Okay.
You can do it either way. I mean, it's, no, I cut it, but you can copy.
Okay.
Yeah. Tomato. Okay. So here, this is super fun. We're going to move this down until we see him jump. And then right about here at about 7:37, and I have the file for you in there if you want to try it yourself, of him, is where we need to chop. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You can chop off some of this video and slide it down, but you do want to have negativity starting in the beginning. That's why I made it longer. Sometimes you have to chop off the front of Fitzy. So let's come up here, go ahead and, okay, so he needs it a little bit sooner. So now I will have to chop off some of him because you want the negative. Well, actually I could have dragged that back. Sorry if I'm confusing you. You'll figure it out. You just have to make sure that they match. Once again, we're live, boom. So right there is where I need the chop. So we'll just, and boom, okay. So much for my 7 seconds. I want this chop. Sorry guys, there is an easier way to do this where you can match them up perfectly. I'm gonna bring this back, chop him down. So now the timing doesn't matter. Trial and error. And I'm glad this is happening because I feel like you need to know that this can happen in your thing. And I was telling Tricia, I almost showed an easier one, which I kind of wish I did, but I figured if we show the hard one first and you guys master this, you can do anything with this text box. And boom, close enough. All right, and then you just go to the end here. And then chop this off. I don't know why it says negativity there. Maybe the video's back. Okay, boom. There we go. And now we have, as close as we're going to get it today, because everybody has a life to get back to, is boom, negativity. And then you can export this video and take and put any background you want, obviously. So whew, glad that's done.
Hey, that looks awesome. Good job.
Yeah. Have some fun with the text though. I have swirled things before. Like I said, my favorite one is, and I'll post that somewhere, where I drop it from the sky and I have a golf club, and in slow-mo, I hit the word drama and it goes flying across. I also have the ones with my students where they are throwing things on the earth that we need more of. So we brought the words down from the sky, where it looks like they're grabbing the sky, and then they go like this. And you can do two things of text too. The first movement is the down, and the second text is the throw it on the earth or anything like that. Also words, we catch words in buckets. I could go on forever, but it's so much fun, and the kids will come up with stuff for you. They will blow your mind once you show them even this. So this won't scare them probably as much as it scares you.
It
True.
I mean,
They're like,
you
okay.
can't break it. So like once if you didn't have it lined up, it's not like it's broken. You just, even
Exactly.
if you trimmed it too much, it doesn't take it all the way away. You could pull it back,
Exactly. And yeah, and I started off with a lot simpler one. So, but I just wanted to go for it. I thought, you know what, there's some people here, there's beginners, and there's people that have been using Doink a while. So I wanted to give you all something to either strive for or go for it. And maybe it's not that hard. Maybe I'm just having a hard time with it because I haven't done that in a long time. That was a really good test of my brain to remember. And it was quite a feat to remember how I did it. Because people always say, where's your tutorial? I'm like, I don't remember how I did it.
Well, I think it was a good example because it required building one, one effect, putting it in your camera roll, and then pulling in a new project to combine it with another effect. So I think just seeing that process might make people realize, oh, okay, now I have ideas for how this could work with the things I want to create. So, and that's the whole goal here. We have only like 15 minutes. We just have a couple more things. We have a couple more things that we want to share, and then we'll do some Q&A. So one thing that we want to share is the Green Screen Summit. That's coming up this summer. Well, it is summer officially, July 20th through the 23rd. And Erika, what would you like to say before I click play on that video?
Just that this Not Just a Green Screen Summit is exactly that. Thank you, Karen, for the not just because there's so much media magic you will learn here. We had a blast last year, and I am blown away by our presenters last year and this year, and the things that I've learned with creative media across the board. So go for it, Tricia.
Okay. Wrong button, sorry. Okay, so we would love for you to join us in the...
I'm not here, Tricia, sorry. I'm watching it on Facebook. You have to put both of us on there as because it's just on speaker, I think, but that's okay. Go ahead.
What's not on?
That's okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. That was thinking out loud.
Oh, okay. So we have a giveaway that we'd like to do, and we're going to be giving away Do Ink app codes. So if you don't have the Do Ink green screen app, you'll get a chance to have them app. If you already have it, maybe the app code would be great to share with your administrator who is on the fence of whether or not to put them on the iPads at school, and they can play, and you can send a link to this presentation and let them get excited about the possibilities with the app. So to enter, all you need to do is find Erika and I on Instagram, where Erika is greenscreengal 44. So that looks a little different. And I'm Fuglefun on Instagram. On Twitter, we're greenscreengal and Tricia Fugelstad. And then just use the hashtag greenscreensisters, and we'll be able to search anywhere with that hashtag and see who entered. And in 24 hours, we'll give out some prizes. But there's another prize we want to offer, and that is a ticket to the Green Screen Summit that's coming up. So go ahead and share when you're tweeting or Instagramming something that you've made, whether it's on the Green Screen app or a question that you might have for us, so that we can engage with you a little bit more.
Yeah, super excited about that. Tricia, no, what I was saying is I don't think I'm on every time you share, I go away. I go away. So I have to speak. Oh, there we go. Okay. So please definitely tag us, post all that stuff, either share something you made here today or just even some pictures from this webinar, but I'm a little nervous about that. Maybe with one where I walked away, my wings stayed behind me. That was a good one. That was a good one. But here, did you already say this, hun, with the bit.ly? No. Did you say this part?
No, I didn't say anything.
Okay,
But
I will say this part.
I think what you're seeing on Facebook is a delay.
No. What happens is your settings, you need to change your settings from speaker view to hosts show, but that's okay. We'll talk about that next time. Yeah, just whoever speaks shows up. So that's okay, because this is how you can stay in the loop with us, guys. And this we have very well organized. It's a newsletter that we don't send out a ton, but we do send them out with coupons and things like that and updates. And this was our very first time of giving this a try. So we ask for your forgiveness and thank you for your patience. And we're going to ask, hopefully answer some questions here in the chat box. And boy, did we learn a lot. But we want to do this on a regular basis and have it be just a quick little thing, quicker than today, of just some fun tricks and tips and things to just get this app in your brain as much as ours, because it is we could literally do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these. But we'll iron them out first. But yes. All right, honey, go ahead. So definitely find out.
Okay, what questions do we have?
Why don't you take off the screen so I can come back? That would be great. Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, so in the chat box, we have a few questions. I saw some. You can scroll through too and see what you see. All right, Margaret.
Okay.
I'll have to go back to the ones above this, but Margaret says, is there an order you follow always? Background, video, animation on top. Tricia, you want to take that first and then I'll get the questions ready?
I think about that with my students. So when we're building a 3-layer project, like flying, so background, as an art teacher, also that's what I am. I need to reinforce ideas like background, middle ground, foreground. And so it's a perfect way for me to reinforce those ideas by talking it through with them. But yes, it's a lot easier to start with background, then move to middle ground, then move to foreground, especially if there's adjusting to do. We save the thing that needs the most adjusting for when it's naturally active. So when you pull in a piece of media, it's active already. And that's when we do our adjusting, instead of switching layers and trying to keep track of which layer is active and then adjusting, because little fingers and little people playing and touching, they're not keeping track, and things are getting all crazy and bonkers really quick. And then we spend a lot of time trying to undo that. So
Yeah. And so go ahead.
oh, so that's all. I do try to think it through and try to streamline it the best I can when I'm teaching it to my students.
Yeah. And with the older kids, I always start off by teaching them a series of lessons. And this is in my online course. It's called Become a Green Screen Rock Star. It's on my website and on EduSpark. That's a great place for professional development that Tricia and I both have courses at EduSpark. There's even a free one. But anyway, with them, I teach them the basic of the 3 layers, and background is usually first because the kids automatically go to the top row and they put the background there, and then they can't figure out why their other ones won't show through. And then after that, I have them do some things where we're in Paris, and then they add some butterflies. And then we say, we want to add more butterflies. And this is the beauty of doing. People always say there's not enough rows. Yes, there are. There's plenty. So basically, I let them figure out that we save our first picture with the 2 butterflies in the background, and then we use it as our new background. And we could keep going and going. And that's how, if any of you follow my Twitter or anywhere, I have a lot of things with a lot of people, like my grids or my Christmas ones where everybody's in inside a nativity scene and things like that, because those are probably 37 projects because we just keep saving it and adding more. The hard part about that is you have to make sure it's really good. But you can go back in your things and fix things. It's really good for the kids though. It's good for their brains to figure that out. But yeah, I would say that you start off with the basics and make sure they put their, in my opinion, put their background first, but yeah. Okay. What else do we got? I missed whether or not you're going drawing the heart in regular Do Wink or the Do Wink animation app, Tricia.
I was just using the green screen app for the entire project. And that's one of the wonderful new things about the updated app is I was doing any animation pieces in one app and then pulling it into the green screen app to add it with video. And that's what I was doing with lots of little people and lots of steps. But now everything can be done in one app. You can combine animation and video and green screen and create transparent effects, which we would love to talk more about what that's really about. We hope to talk about that in the future, or we're going to talk about it at ISTE. I saw one question in the chat about augmented reality, and a lot of the work that I do in the green screen app, I use to set up my augmented reality. Augmented reality is basically having a still image as a trigger and then having an overlay that is a video or a GIF. And for example, I have a business card that comes to life with augmented reality. So the app that I use to set up augmented reality is the iJack app. And so it's super simple to do because it has a desktop feature called a creator. And it gives you a chance to just upload your 2 pieces of media, your trigger image and your overlay. And then once you've got that, you get a QR code that helps you activate or call up the augmented reality. And then the animation you created comes to life. I was going to share it with you really quick, but my iPad decided not to show up anymore. I don't know.
Oh, am I? Oh, weird.
Because, if I click trust, it'll work.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I can see if I can get this to work if you want to.
All right. You try to get that to work. I'm going to answer another question. A lot of people said they came late, and that's fine because you can watch it live after, and it might be better too, because then you can fast forward the parts where I left my wings here. So we're also going to put it on both of our YouTube channels, and we're going to make a third YouTube channel for Green Screen Sisters. Like we said, we just started doing this. It's we just get so excited, so we thought we need to share it with everybody. Also, somebody said, Tricia, I'm curious with the little ones, or do you want me to wait for that question?
Oh, I got it to work.
Okay, go for it.
So I'm in the iJack app right now. And I would just click that little eyeball on the left. And now you can see my business card. So if I scan that QR code, it recognizes it or uploads it.
It's black. The screen looks black.
Hey,
Oh,
this is Tricia from
didn't work.
Dad's business card.
You hear it?
Take a moment and explore some of
Oh,
those
there you go.
websites
No, wait,
and
it's okay.
links on the edge there, you know, over there. And see some of the ways that you can integrate technology and art into your lessons.
You're good.
Woo.
I did turn off my notifications today.
We've been here an hour, so that's actually good. We don't want to take too much time for you all. Thank you so much for coming. And remember, you can write us questions, find us on social media. Let me put up that social media post again and remind you how you can enter the giveaway so that you can get a chance to get the, what's it called? The Do Ink app code or a ticket to the Green Screen Summit, the Not Just a Green Screen Summit. So that means you would follow us and then use the hashtag Green Screen Sisters. We'll search hashtags, and anybody in the next 24 hours who follows us and uses that hashtag, say hi to us, share a screenshot, whatever, share whatever you want, ask us questions, and we'll enter you into the raffle or the giveaway.
Okay, so Tricia, is it possible to stop the Facebook but keep the Zoom going? Because there's some questions here about some links and people want and things like that. Or we could just answer them elsewhere. But
yeah, I think
I asked you a question, didn't know.